hey everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to another stream and another video series. We're working on this guy here. That's our A-10C Thunderbolt 2 by Great Wall Hobbies. It's a 1/48 scale premium A10. We'll get that intro going and we'll get started. Okay guys, well, we're gonna unbox this thing. We're gonna look at all the parts that go to this thing and we're gonna hopefully get started today. Okay, so I've already opened the box and I've taken all the sprues out of their bags, so we'll go through all these sprues and everything like that. The first thing I wanted to point out was the nice artwork that comes with this. You get some nice pictures. Now this thing does come with different variations of decals that you can do. All of them are the same light gray pattern. This one we've got two sides, this one here, and on our third sheet also two sides, two variations, right? I'm not going to be doing the light gray version. I'm going to do a more camouflage pattern, and that's what I'm going to be doing on this guy. We're not going to be doing the typical A10 light gray, okay? I've never really been a fan. It's a very boring color. Even their light gray and the dark gray pattern they have on it, honestly, I think it's kind of boring. So I'm going to do camo. I'm going to do camo on it. And I think I'm going to do a winter camo. Yeah, anyway, that's that. Just wanted to point that out. That's something that comes in the box. Your instruction booklet. I'm going to say book, yes, because this is 40 pages. 40 pages. That's a 40 there. 40. The cover actually does come off. It's a separate piece, separate sheet, all on its own. And inside it shows you all the sprues that come in the kit. Okay? Including the decals that come in it, and a little photo etch sheet. And a special weight. Yeah, something that you know, I built one of these a long time ago. It feels like it's been a couple of years now. I did have it up on my channel, but that was in a kind of a weird time when Twitch was doing these hot tub streams, and I actually did my own little hot tub stream. Yeah, that was a whole different era. It feels like a few years ago. But that was not a very great kit. I know the fit was not that great, and you know, honestly, I can't even remember what manufacturer. I don't remember if it was Revell or Atelier or who it was that I built that kit, because it was like 3 years ago and I don't even have the model anymore. Anyway, let's go through the sprues. On my desk here I have already a whole bunch of sprues. These are the bombs. AGM 65. Two of those. We have LAU 131s. Two of those. This is an ALQ 131. We get one GBU 31 bomb. We get an AAQ 2028 pod. We get two of these GBU 12 bombs. We get three GBU 38 bombs. I say three because what Great Wall Hobby has done, you know, the past kits that I've built for these guys, they give you a little box in the kit that has the missiles in them already, and the missiles are all one piece, no putting of two halves together. They have decided to go the more conventional route in giving you two halves to put together on this. Anyway, that's that one. You get two AIM-9L missiles, which of course is just the shaft you got to put all your fins on. Okay, and we get the ALQ 184. I think that's a radar jamming pod. Anyway, there's all your weapons, okay? These things, you guys know the A-10 Warthogs, these guys here, or Warthogs, Thunderbolts, whatever you want to call it. It goes by both names. Yeah, they huge weapon loadout when it comes to bombs. And of course the highlight of the plane, the plane that's built around a gun, is the I don't know if they actually call it the GOW, but it's the G.W.H, I believe, Gatling gun. Yeah, you guys can see the video on that. Yeah, pretty crazy, right? Anyway, so this is our O sprue. I'll change the camera so you can see these sprues. They did a really great kit. This is, I would say, very Tamiya quality as far as the precision and the detail that they do. Very nice, very nice. Let's see here. This is our O tree. Looks like we've got our instrument panel and our dashboard. I call it the dashboard because I'm a car guy. A couple of pods. Yeah, okay, that's the O tree. I'll go with our clear, which I've already taken out of the bag. Here's our clear sprue. It's nice that they've got this little wire here to protect it so that nothing gets scratched. I am going to cut this off actually right now. Just do this. And the reason is so I can show you. There is a parting line that goes through the middle of that. If we can get it at the right angle on the camera, you might be able to see a little bit of a parting line that goes right through the center. It's not really picking it up. Just barely there. You can just barely see that line in the middle of it there. That's just the way it is. Some of these molds will have to clean up that parting line. Now, of course, the A-10 is supposed to have like its antenna or whatever that's in on the windshield or the canopy. They have not done the detail on that, so we do not see any antenna detail on the canopy, which is a little disappointing because, you know, it's supposed to be there. Here's our J tree. Now, one thing I noticed right off the bat, they have these little balls on just about every part. All these little balls, these guys here, 1 and 2, they're all over the place. Here and yeah, here, 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 here. All these little balls that got to be clipped off so many parts. And of course, they do that so that they can get the injection and inject the plastic into these areas to get a good flow and get these things molded nice and crisp the way they should be. So it's really nice. Oh, speaking of our G.W.H gun, that's it right there, the tip. They've done a pretty good job at the mold on that. Let's see if my camera will get that for you. They've done a pretty good job. It's not bad. The side of it looks like it could use a little bit better, a little bit of love on that, but yeah, it's not bad. I'll drill that out with little drill bits, and we'll get that done. Okay, next is our I tree with some engines. Looks like landing gear bays. We got our cockpit or ejector seat, the cockpit there. Okay, I think we'll get started on this today once we get all the sprues. Here's the front of the seat. We've got molded on seat belts, which are not bad. They're not terrible, but the molding is crisp enough that I think they're good enough. I don't need to do anything with them, I don't think. And of course, with these planes, it's hard to see the cockpit detail in there, just the way they're designed. And now we're going to get to something you're going to notice a little different. Here's our C tree. You notice the difference in the color? The color difference is because I've already primed these ones. I put some gray primer on them. Here's our C tree, which is definitely our tail fin detail, and it looks like some flaps. Okay, and it looks like the center spine along the top of the plane. It's a lot of rivet detail on there. Looks good. Speaking of fuselage, here we go with our D tree. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's all we have in our D tree. I'm only going to get to grab my D once this time around. That's alright. But the rivet detail on this, like the detail they've done on it is really nice. Right? Like I said, it's like, to me, a quality on their panel lines and everything like that. It's really nice. Good job. Nice and crisp. It's going to look good. Okay. We have our B tree, which of course is, this looks like it's the top of the wing, one piece, and then a couple of flaps, and of course more of these little balls that are all going to be clipped off. I'm going to clip my balls off. Ouch! We've got two M sprues. M as in Mary. Here's our engine fans and everything. We've got a cone. This one was already broken off in the kit. I think they set it down like this, and these two cones were on top of each other, and this one came off of the sprue. So it's sitting in the box. It's alright. That's nice detail on that. That looks nice. Nice crisp molding on that, on all those fins. Looks good. Yeah, this kit's gonna look nice. Okay, another great big sprue. This is our A tree, which has the bottom of the plane and bottom of the fuselage all as one. And again, nice crisp lines everywhere. Nice crisp moldings. Really well done. Well done. Definitely shot this one out of the park as far as their molding detail. Lots of fins and stuff like that. And looks like railings. Lots of stuff. Okay. And we have some more small sprues. We have our weapon pods. Right. This is the R tree. All of our mounting pods for the weapons. We've got fuel tank on the S tree. There. Nice great big fuel tank. We have our N as in Nourman, Nancy, North tree. Just from little tiny bits. A tiny bit tree. Okay. Then, oh, we got one, a pod here, an AAQ33. I missed this one that was still sitting in the box. Okay, I'll have to put that here so I can prime it later. We have our K and our L trees. These are your main landing gear that go underneath the wings here. On there. It's going to go in there like that. These are on their own, a K and an L. We have my broken off little engine cone. Okay. We have this guy sitting in his own little bag. So I'm just going to leave him in there like that. We have a little box. Oh, I got another weapon. And I got another GBU-38 sitting in there all on its own. And I have a little box. Hey dude, this little box, it's taped in here. That's going to be our weight. Let me get that out of here. Oh, they actually glued the box. They glued it onto the side of the box there. So I'm going to have to cut the tape. And then open this guy up. And there's our little weight. This is heavy. That's a hefty weight. Little chunk of steel, really. Heavy little weight. Yeah, it's no wonder that box weighs so much. That's got to be, I don't know how much it weighs. I have to put it on a little scale of some sort, find out how much that weighs, but that's a lot of ounces. Anyway, that's all the sprues. I've shown you the instructions. What I'm going to show you next is the decals that come in this kit. Let's put all this away. Back in our box. I'm going to leave these two out so that I can prime them later. I like to prime a lot of my stuff on the sprues first, just for ease of access, really. That's the only reason why I do it. Let's see, the decals that come in the kit are right here. Okay, come with a little photo etch. Let's open up this bag. Just like Tamiya, these guys use staples on their bags. Unlike Tamiya, these guys only put one staple per bag. So that's nice. Tamiya will use 2, even 3 staples, I see all the time. Okay, so we've got one card that has all of our weapons. The A-10C Thunderbolt 2 Close Air Support Attack Aircraft. Yeah, there's that decal sheet right there. The next one we have just plain markings. And we've actually got a decal for our instrument panel. That's kind of cool. The dark gray walkways. And yeah, some things like that. A bunch of markings, just the generic ones. And then the next sheet has our specific ones, like the actual warthog face and the snake. And then, of course, our shark mouth. I think I'm going to do the shark mouth. I'm going to do the shark mouth on mine. And that one's I've always thought that was a cool look to it. The shark mouth, not the warthog. I don't like the warthog. Anyway, yeah, I'll get the little Mustangs. I'll put Mustangs on. Make it a Mustang plate. Maybe I'll drop it in my DMs too. No, I'm not going to do that. I'll do it according to the markings in the instructions. And then we have finally our photo etch sheet, which is just a few little markings like the nighttime lights, and then these T's or whatever, they go on the sides of the wings. I know that. I know this little V one goes on the top of the fuselage along the spine. Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's put these back in the bag so that I don't have to worry about them. And we'll take a look at our little novel that comes with this thing. Put that there. There's also the sheet that came in the box. This guy here. Additions and corrections. It looks like it's just decals, a decal correction, and that's it. And the painting scheme D for use A-56. And just the different decals, and that looks like that's all it is. It's the only correction, so it doesn't really matter. Unless you're actually specifically trying to build that particular plane, obviously, then you need to worry about that. Let's grab our book. Okay. Typical aircraft instructions. Now this is really nice because there's these pictures in here are like 3D renders, and so it's really nice, beautiful artwork. I've gone through the whole book and labeled all my colors because they give you the Mr. Hobby colors, and they do that on the back of the book. They give you your call outs. One thing I did note, in the C305, 306, 307, 308, they give you the gray FS number, those equivalents. And so I just wrote down FS 36118 is Gunship Gray by Tamiya. The FS 36270 is Medium Gray. FS36320 is the dark ghost gray, and the FS36375 is light ghost gray. I happen to have both the light and the dark ghost gray in Tamiya's LP 36 and 37 colors. That's perfect for me. I also have their XF20, which is medium gray, which again, perfect. What I don't have is their gunship gray. I don't have their gunship gray. I don't even know if they, I know they make gunship gray in their spray paint. I might have it in the spray. I'd have to like decant it if I want to actually paint it with a brush or something like that. So instead of gunship gray, I'm going to use the LP27 German gray. It's a very dark gray, very similar to the gunship gray. It's basically just a super dark gray, really. I think that's a good facsimile. And of course we need some khaki for the seat cushion. I'm going to use, I don't have khaki color in Tamiya, so I'm going to mix my dark yellow with a little bit of brown just to give it a little bit of a darker color. Anyway, let's see here. Let's get started, shall we? I got to move all my ammunition off of my desk here because this is taking up a lot of room. Let's get these out of the way. Okay, let's change the camera and let's get started on our ejection seat. Okay. I'm going to take this out of here because I don't really need to see this all the time. So going off of our eye tree, we got to grab that. I think that's the one I left on my desk here. Is this the eye? Yes, it's the eye tree. So we need to get I-18 and 20. So two halves, 18 and 20. I'm actually going to change my glasses out here. Okay, that makes it a little easier for me to see. 18 and 20. Okay, we need these two. We're going to need 14 and 13. That's our two seat cushions. It's actually nice to see that they've made this seat into a bunch of different parts to assemble. It adds to the detail. It means they're not trying to mold the whole thing as one big unit. We're going to get I-8, which is the back of the seat. And I actually like that. I like when it's all separate pieces because it adds to the detail, and then you don't have to worry about, you know, buying like a 3D resin seat or something like that. We'll get our little I-7, we'll get that too. That's the top, or I think that's actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the very top of the seat, top of the headrest at the very top is where the parachute is. I think that's what that is. Don't quote me though, because I don't know for sure. Now here's where we got to get rid of all our little knobs. Look at that. That's a big knob to get rid of there. Right? Big knob to take off. And that's going to be all over this kit, are these little knobs or nubs. Okay. So with all those little knobs to cut off, that means we got to clean up a lot too. Take these and throw them in the garbage. Now, what I find interesting about the seats, just looking at the color call-out, you know, a lot of aircraft seats are just black, right? The whole thing's black. But they actually call out for some color on these, in some parts gray and not black. It's like the seat is two-tone, multicolor. Now this one, this great big one that was on the back here, doesn't really matter. It just needs to be smooth so I can put the other part on it. And getting in here is going to be a bit difficult. There we go. Okay, there's one side. Already did that side. Din, din, din. I think they did a pretty good job at doing the molding. Of course, you know, you've got the pull handles for the ejection, right? Yeah, those should be hollow in retrospect, but it doesn't really matter. Just paint the inside of that black and paint your outline with yellow, and that's good enough, right? Okay, so we start off with our two halves going like this. It just sits like that. Okay, let's get some glue. Get my extra thin. Run along that edge. There we go. Okay, we can put the back on. He's got to go like that. We got a little tab to go in that hole there and line that up like that. Press against there. That'll help to line it all up, get it nice and flat. This guy goes in there. Oh, they've done a good job. It just lines up nicely. I just started this kit and I'm already impressed with how it's going together. You know, this kit was actually, it only came out, I think 2023. This kit originally came out in China. I saw a couple of other, you know, YouTube creators, model builders reviewing this kit online, and it looked really well, and I was really impressed with how it looks. But I really had a hard time finding it to actually purchase. Because it didn't seem that any hobby stores in the West had this kit. Put our little parachute on there. There we go. And then we'll put our bottom seat cushion in. And it fits just so nicely. Like, somebody from Tamiya moonlighting over at Great Wall Hobby, because that is fantastic. That looks really nice. That's a nice, our Our lines are all crisp. This rivals any resin seat. The only difference is resin, you'd have your holes. These would be holes here and here. But I can live with this, that's for sure. Because even though these aren't holes here, the molding is really crisp on it. Right? The molding on it is really crisp. Right? It looks really nice. That's a nice looking seat. Yeah. Okay. So that's this and this part done. Now we need to get I-5 and 6 to go. They show even like zoomed in pictures of how they're supposed to go on the sides, where they go. At the top here, they show it zoomed in right there and there, and that's where they go. So I-5 and 6. Where's my eye tree? Where'd it go? I-5 and 6. These two little guys here. Okay. I want to be careful getting these off of here. There's number 5. Okay. And number 6. Okay. So number 6, we're going to put him right there, right by his number. So number 5. These guys are a little tricky. You see how it's got that little notch at that goes towards the front. No, that goes towards the back. The notch goes towards the back. So it's going to sit on there kind of like this. So as I just kind of throw it down, let's get this glue. Put a little dab right up there for him to sit. I know that the notch goes towards the back. And so that means it's going to sit like this. To sit, it's supposed to be angled downward. Alright, it's supposed to be angled down. They always are. I think I actually have it on backwards. Yeah, I've got it backwards. Let's turn it around. Glue is already starting to do its job, but I had it backwards. Yeah, so I'm going to have to put some more glue. Angle it down. There we go. Now I got it in there. Okay, number 6. Do the other side. Dab of glue there. Number 6. See if I can flip him over. I didn't get him off the sprue quite where he needs to be. I gotta clean that up. Uh-oh. Well, I may have done myself in here. Oh no, I found him. It's so small. I think I just put him on. Okay, there we go. We've got them on there. You can see I've got my two little things at the top there, at the top of the headrest on each side, just like that. Just double checking, make sure they, when you look at it from the top, that they look normal. Okay, they're delicate, so I don't want to touch them too much. Okay, so that's it for the actual assembly of the seat. The rest is, they show us how the colors to paint it and everything like that, so I'm going to have to paint that after. But I'm going to let this all dry and then paint it later. Just make sure these are where they need to be. Okay. Alright, so we're going to put our seat aside and let that dry. We have our instrumentation, which this needs to be painted also, and of course we've got to put the decals on, right? So we've got to paint down inside the bucket, it looks like here. Let me grab the I-16, the actual tub. There we go. So I-16. Now I gotta make sure my nubs are all clean. I'm gonna have to look at maybe some reference photos of the cockpits on these planes to see just exactly how it's all supposed to look. For example, this detail at the back here, is this cable here visible? What color is that cable supposed to be? Things like this, these little details, right? I like to try and have that accurate as far as colors. Now if we look at our picture here and we go like this, we can see this is supposed to be black, but the back, the little strip is supposed to be gray. And so that's number 317. What was that? 317. 317. They just called gray. Mr. Hobby's 317. That's the color gray it's supposed to be. I don't think I have Mr. Colors medium gray. I'll have to reference that online. So I think this is where I'm going to leave it for today, guys. I still want to do a little bit of research. I want to see what the Tamiya's equivalent of Mr. Color's C317 is. And I'll have to do some painting in here and that fun stuff. And I'll have to paint the seat black, at least for the most part anyway. So I think this is where I'm going to leave it for today. So I can do a little more research and get a little bit more prepared for the actual assembly of this thing. Because I do need to get some colors. Yes, I've got lots of my Tamiya colors ready already, but I'm not 100% ready to do this. So yeah, this is where we're going to leave it for today, guys. So join me in the next chapter once I get all prepared and we can continue on with this. Yeah, so I want to thank you for watching. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for coming out. And we'll see you all in the next one.